There we go. Now I'm getting Dragon Dark screen up. The Blood Red Castlevania. Alright, guys. We'll go check out your mystery game.
Alright.
The game is going to be Wizards and Warriors X Fortress of Fear.
Ooh.
Now tell me neither of you guys had this when we did part of this as a bonus game.
Nope.
I don't. No,
Okay,
I
go.
don't think so.
Because we don't track who did what bonus game.
I barely remember that as the bonus game, honestly.
good.
Alright.
Stages 1-0 through 1-3.
1-0. That's
Yeah.
a good stage.
And then you skip 1-2, apparently? Or maybe the split's just 1-3. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think he's... If I remember correctly, it's a pretty linear game, although there are some places where you'll retraverse the same room, like in a different part of it, but it's still, I don't think, any kind of branching in it.
And the only link is a TAS.
Yay,
Honest,
yeah.
it's a really simple game, so I think that you probably will be able to figure out your own strats.
Yeah, I rated it pretty high, simply for that reason.
Mine was up there. I don't remember exactly how high, but it was up there.
Alright, so let's do this. Not. Alright, where is the I key?
Jump in the pallet.
Oh, that's what the X is. It's like chapter 10.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they jumped from 1 to 2 to X to 3, which I think is the order these things happened, but it's chapter X.
It's probably some sort of plot point. Where it's supposed to be.
Looking at here.
Well, those are some physics, alright.
It looks like you can buffer jumps.
Yep, that's a common thing to Wizards and Warriors. It's good to have. This was, I think, random trivia. We discovered that you move the same speed while crouching as you do while regular walking,
Yeah.
and that came up as a point of discussion later on. And it was weird because we ran into another game where that was the case. And thought, wow, this is probably the only two games we've ever heard of.
Yeah, it was Vice Project Doom, I think.
Yeah, that
Gives you
sounds
a
right.
crouch run. But yeah, this one he's like way down in a crab walk, still going super fast.
Mm-hmm. And in the NES Wizards and Warriors games, it does slow you down to crouch walk, but in this one they didn't add that limitation.
I don't think that was reachable. This music is something else.
People really like the music in the first Wizards and Warriors.
The first two.
Yeah. I can't really get behind the first one.
I mean, like, the low health jingle is pretty good.
It didn't save my entire palette. Okay.
Oh wow, so you got this amber on top of blue.
Kuros is now green? I didn't change the palette at all. It's just saving him as green. Whatever, I'm going with it.
He stabs too, and in the first one he just flails his sword around.
Apparently you cannot unpause the game?
What?
I paused the game and no button unpauses it.
Did you also pause the emulator somehow?
No.
No,
Like,
because the pauses letters are moving.
Letters
Oh.
are moving.
they forgot to program in a way to unpause the game. Well, there's a soft reset if you hit that many buttons.
Yeah, if you hit all the buttons, you can soft reset. That's right.
So apparently, do not pause game. Good to know.
Wow. That can't be right. We should probably put a note in this goal in case people use this in the future. I don't know if there's any need for your start button, is there? Might want to just unmap it if you're concerned about hitting it during a match.
I shouldn't hit the start button. Not worried about that.
Let's see here, what can I do with this?
Error apologizes for removing Trip World from the game pool. That was a good one.
It's not
The guys who got Trip World really lucked out.
Do you still need gems in this one?
No.
Just for score.
I think it's mostly about finding the treasure, or finding the keys and getting there's items you can get, upgrades that you can get to your dude, but it's mostly about getting the keys and getting through doors. It's just pretty much straightforward platforming.
Can you run or something? I'm not even sure how you're supposed to make this jump.
Yeah, I'm not either. Oh, that makes more sense.
The task makes some jumps that look just so impossible. I wasn't able to reproduce what the task does in this first section here. The spot that Dragon Dark is at. I guess
Oh,
this is
the
the second
platform's
section.
there, it's just off screen. Great.
I always did like blind jumps. They're great.
Yeah, Trip World might actually been pretty hard for a mystery game.
There was a lot to it. I was surprised how a game with just an A and a B button had so many different things to the movement mechanics.
Okay. I want to add something to this. There it is. Script. To it. Okay.
Kitus tried to reproduce this start pausing, crashing the game, and wasn't able to reproduce that bug.
Huh.
Alright, what are we going? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it still hits me.
I'm yet to
Ah,
see
I
anyone
see.
make it out of this second screen. Oh, Kuros's palette changed back to the blue mid-game.
Don't question that.
Okay.
That didn't work.
Okay.
You cannot make that jump, alright.
Okay, that was a little. That was a little too
Aggressive.
hasty on my part. Hasty on my part. Okay.
Nope. Didn't work.
Oh, you can control your jump height.
Okay, let's do that without dying, please.
.100 by 100 resolution is actually smaller than the Game Boy resolution.
Nice arrow right at the end. I could have never stuck that.
Oh, the potion of healing. Like that's really a worthwhile detour. I don't know. Well, let's try not to get it.
Seems like it's kind of hard to avoid taking damage.
It is. It's too early.
Let's jump there, okay.
I keep jumping too early.
Okay.
He does hit me.
Both players opting to sort of memorize each bit by bit.
Yeah, it is interesting to see how these guys who are at the top of their game learn these games this quickly.
Nice buffer jump.
Because even for a really short goal like this, an hour isn't that much time to really perfect a run. And you know it's going to take pretty close to perfection, just based on every other one of these high-level tournament matches we've had.
Does that shield actually block anything? There's so many of
Probably.
these arrows where I'm like,
No,
just block it.
I don't know if it does. It may be possible that you get a shield upgrade, and your sprite doesn't change, but eventually the shield will actually block projectiles.
This one's just for show.
Am I hallucinating, or does this have the same problem as a Darkwing Duck, where there's a little bit of landing lag with each jump?
That may be.
Oh, nice snake.
Well, if you have a frame counter on, you can set a save state and test that. I don't know what the default frame advance button is. Is it backslash for frame advance?
I don't think so. I think I had to rebind it to that.
Mine's backspace, but I may have just bound it to that myself.
Oh my god, all the cannons.
Hmm. So you could just duck there. No, that might work. Okay.
Pow!
Yeah, I like these little POW explosions.
Actually, let's not do that. Let's just jump
I
over.
can't believe you take fall damage.
That's for a pretty short distance. That's a normal thing in Wizards and Warriors games, but typically you'd have to fall a lot farther than that.
I didn't realize there was actually damage associated with that. I thought it was just the animation.
I think you do take damage. No, I don't
Well,
think you
you'd
do
know.
take damage. No, I think it may just slow you down. You know what? I honestly couldn't tell you.
I don't think I want the shield.
Huh.
I don't
There,
think.
there's a
There's
new
the
shield.
protection. But it looks like it's out of the way, and we won't see it in this run at all.
Well, the task goes that way, so I'm not too sure about that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it keeps the shield for a long time and it, proves its worth over.
Well,
the
it
whole game.
goes that way, but doesn't actually get the shield. So I don't know what to think at this point.
Yeah, Dragon Dark screen is black.
Yeah, I'm watching the tasks.
Okay.
Man, there's really not a lot of wiggle room on that jump.
Bosses can fail to spawn in Blaster Master? Is that a
Failed to
thing?
spawn. Yeah, that happened to me in a run once.
Do you foresee that ruining a tournament match?
No, because that's the only time I've ever seen it happen. Just that one time. So I don't think it's pretty common.
Why is it
You can also... I think if you die, it doesn't come back, but you can take a game over and get the boss to come back or something like that.
see. That's definitely a way to do that one. Okay. Might just go ahead and do that. Let's see here.
Wow, those guys do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Crap.
Okay. Looks simple enough.
Wow, yeah, those guys will just kill you.
Not that one.
Okay. Alright, let's see what you end up doing here.
Oh, you got 2 sword swings.
Oh, this thing gets invincibility. Interesting.
Oh my god, these guys.
There's a lot of those guys.
There is a ton of these guys. You can't just run through.
Okay. Alright, let's see. No, it's gotta be taps. Can't be. Nope. Oh, right. Wait, hold up. Actually,
They
would
just
like
keep spawning.
invincibility here, but wait, how are you collecting this?
You need a key to open the chest.
But Oh, it's because of... Okay, now I know why I have to skip the... Now I know why I must skip the first chest. Okay, so alright, let's rewind that. Let's rewind that for a second. That's the whole problem.
Probably should have looked at the tabs for this. Go.
Okay.
Oh wow, okay. That makes way more sense.
Okay. Alright. Not entirely sure how much I'm going to be jumping during this goal, but okay. Alright, let's try this now that I actually have a key. Okay. I definitely would not
The spell of invincibility.
feel safe here without invincibility. Oh, okay. Alright, what are you doing on this next screen? Or is it the same as the end of 1-1? Okay. That's all there is to that. Oh yeah, that's okay. So we are doing 1-2, okay? That's good to know. Oops. Let's see.
No idea how the task does that.
Alright, let's see how you're...
Oh wow, okay, that's how it does it.
Huh. Do I even have enough health to do that?
Ah, damn it.
That's gonna be an interesting question. Let's take a look. Oh, it's an up stab. I thought it was a side stab for whatever reason. It's an up stab, okay.
That was a good. Did make that happen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, there is no way I'm replicating that.
Wow,
Okay, you can't swing in midair.
that just obliterates you.
That it does.
Yep.
Also, I think your stream is still black, Dragon Dark.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I wonder... like, the TAS is able to just sit up here and up-slash this thing to death, but... wonder what... Let's see, I'd have to look at the TAS notes to see what it's doing there.
Okay.
Not that I would expect to.
So I take it the end of the goal is when we kill the bat.
Yeah, that's the last
let me
stage.
Let me see what
Okay.
the last split is. Yeah, that's the end of the goal. I think you
Okay.
split when you go through the door, though.
Okay.
It's like when the gate goes down? Yes.
Okay. Let's try.
This is really not a good state, but maybe something I have to do. Okay. I wasn't going to be able to replicate that. Nope. Nope, that's not gonna work.
Oh wow, got that. That'll work.
You did it.
Oh, I was one hit short. Really?
Okay, so I just gotta optimize the rest of it then.
I was one hit short. Okay.
Yeah, Dragon Dark just did exactly what you were doing, except he got in that extra hit.
Alright, I think I have an idea how I do it then. Yes, okay.
Nope, nope. Alright. Wait, can I just task do that? Let's see that. Nope. Okay, it works, but I just messed up at the end.
About 20 minutes into practice, it seems like both players have decided on a route. It's been 40 levels of platform optimization. 40 minutes, right?
Oh wow, you just barely can't make that. I want to make that, but I can't.
There's gotta be some sort of...
Oh, I can make that.
Oh, the super tight jump.
Well, that's gonna have to happen now.
Great.
It's pretty early on.
Gotta figure out a visual cue for jumping out there. Oh my god.
That is really tight.
Alright, let's take a look at this then. It's not gonna work.
That's not what I meant to do.
Did the SDA knowledge base thing ever get off the ground?
It's there. STA knowledge base is an option. It's a pretty good system, and it's basically a wiki, which is probably what you would want for this kind of thing. I mean, you could use forums, but then it would just be a lot of like updating the opening post and being limited by the complexity of the markdown.
You remember that would be a way tighter jump than that. higher jump.
Make that far back. Sometimes I can get by without taking that hit, sometimes I can't.
Let's put another stick here.
What am I doing? I'm jumping way too late. That's also jumping way too early. Okay.
Are the platforms spawned and then they move, or is it the global timer? Because I wonder if you could just do a small hesitation to line those platforms up.
Oh wait, I think I might be able to do it this way. Oh wow, that might be a lot easier.
I can definitely understand why someone would hate this game. But see, that's the beauty of watching
that
other
actually
people
seems to
play
work.
it for you. You don't have to play it. You can let them be frustrated by it.
Oh, that
Plus,
almost
it'll be
worked.
over in about an hour.
Right? There's a fixed endpoint on it. You know it won't go on forever.
Wow, those jumps are just barely possible. I think I can make this work though.
That's right, we got rainwave music too.
I just switched over to Blecky's suggestion.
Oh, the title theme.
All right. I do that. I want to jump way up the mat. Nope. Don't want to hit the snake.
Whoops.
Okay, I want to do a full jump there. I'm pretty sure that snake didn't hit me that time.
That is a really good tune, though. The stage music itself is not quite up to the level that the title theme establishes. It's a bit of a letdown that that's the best song in the game and it's the first thing you hear.
Oh, nice buffer jump.
That one I want to do a much bigger jump.
So you've got full control over the height of your jumps, right?
Yeah.
There's probably some sort of minimum jump height if you tap it, right?
Yeah, there is definitely a minimum jump height. In fact, the task does like a series of tiny jumps throughout.
Nice jump.
Oh. I really don't have to wait for that because I know I'm gonna have to make that. So. I already think I have the rest of this pretty well figured out. It's just a matter of getting this jump and then getting the one cycle on the boss. There we go. Now to replicate that. Oh, see, I'll probably want to make a save state. Right
Wow,
before
I
it,
was
so.
nowhere near that chest and it still picked it up.
Yeah, your jumping hitbox seems to not quite match the sprite.
This then.
Up goes the wizarding and warrioring.
Mostly just warrioring for now. It seems like it's going pretty good. I guess they pick up an invincibility spell. That's pretty wizardly.
Wow, that is such a tight window. Okay. Okay.
Cards getting acquainted with just how tough these jumps are in the first screen.
I don't know why that cannonball has to spawn sometimes. It kind of messes with the everything else. Okay.
Fiesel's gone rogue on the music. He's just playing whatever he wants.
No, we're back to Rainwave now. I'm queuing up some different Wizards and Warriors songs to listen to, though. I can't seem to find the whole soundtrack anywhere, but there's a couple good remixes here.
Okay, so the worry here is I'm gonna die instantly. Oh. Yep.
So am I crazy, or last year did Rainwave switch to Christmas carols around this time of year?
I think they did, but we also heard random Christmas carols not during the holiday season.
I guess they get added to their database or whatever.
I know there were a couple times we heard Christmas carols come up just in the summertime over this past year.
Okay, better look at this boss again. Well, I could not. That would, no, shoot. Yeah, it's simply this boss and then that jump in 1-0. It's really all the major
Yeah, it seems like there's kind of two jumps. in
optimization
1-0.
points. Let's see here. This damn jump. Okay. Okay, that's
Got some
definitely
new
not
bot
gonna
commands,
fly.
that's nice.
Ugh.
That's a pretty flaccid way to announce the launch of SNESruns.org. Just a random bot
New
command.
bot commands, yep. Well, that's how we know it's official.
That's right. Our SNES Speedrun Marathon has a name and a website. So please definitely go check that out. Yep, it's just SNES Runs Marathon.
Name is still negotiable. I just have to call it something for now.
Not bold
The
enough to call
domain
it.
is already. We have to change.
Not bold enough to call it Best of SNES.
That's a little clunky though.
I mean, that works, but figure it'd probably be... Well, I mean, I don't want people to think that it's going to be exactly the
Right.
same thing, because...
Right.
I mean, it's sort of similar. It's a similar idea.
It was definitely inspired.
It's certainly inspired by it, absolutely.
But I can understand why you wouldn't want to confuse it with the same organization, the same group is
Mhm.
behind that. So I can understand that.
Right, and I mean, if I make mistakes, I don't want ad breaks to get blamed for it or something like that either.
No, we don't necessarily have to blame bad breaks per se. Just tell her when he was drunk.
It's like, yeah, you messed all kinds of stuff up while you were drunk. We'll explain later. Super SNESathon. Just be PJ going, hey, why are you guys following me around? What's happening?
Clearly, I did not.
SNESed.
Clearly, I did not.
The Spring SNES
Nice
Speedrun
part.
Shindig. Quadruple S.
Yeah, then people could be like, oh man, I heard so-and-so's got to run it.
A quadruple S-a-thon.
S4. I think there's a Dota player named S4.
You wanted to split there, but it's not the end of the stage.
Alright, it's not too bad. That one could
Sounds
do
like
one there,
Mikey's volunteering for commentary. Hopefully he's not volunteering for, like, web design. And that's his application is babbling incoherently.
You can do that quite well, though.
Put a block on the schedule for incoherent babbling.
Yeah, whenever the real commentator like runs out of things to say, just, Mikey, do your thing.
Clearly, I need to work more on this boss. Okay, it's just mashing. Alright. Alright, I can do that. I just need to mash faster. Well,
Oh, that's
Thought it
true.
was.
It would be super best of Ness, wouldn't it?
Super best of us, yeah.
how did I do that?
There's actually lots of things we're looking for.
Yeah, that's
volunteers
all it
for.
is. Okay. Yeah. You're just mashing and canceling the attack animation. Okay, that totally makes sense.
Let's see.
That boss looks like a pushover if you just get the right timing.
You can
Yeah, we're
attack
looking
cancel.
for volunteers to help with commentary,
seems
hosting,
like-
setup, art, web development, backend restreaming, and video editing. So if any of those things are a thing you can do and you want to be a part of this awesome event, go ahead and contact me or Feasel. There's links on snesruns.org and also all the regular ways you have of reaching us will probably work.
Either it's just mashing or it's the right rhythm. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Wow. I think these guys have got the hang of the game. They're probably ready to go right now. They don't need the last 20 minutes.
Shush you.
Yeah, wait till I get this boss kill down, then get the jumps on 1-0, then I'll get back to you. Oh, come on. Yeah, I can do it if I just mash, but ugh. You know, let's look at this again. Oh, right, I remember being able to do this by just, buffer jumps, okay. Right. Almost.
Oh yeah, Feasible. I guess you don't even have a Super Nintendo speedrun with a top time.
With the top time? No, I don't.
Oh wow, that's way easier than what I was just doing.
I have a list of Super Nintendo games, though, that I'm sure one of them on there will get a Fees top time next year, after HEDQ's over. I don't know what it's going to be yet, though. I have a bunch of Super Nintendo games that I just haven't played recently because I've been so focused on speedrunning. All my speedrun projects, this whole laundry list of stuff that I want to do is all NES games.
What in the world?
With such classics as, what is it, Dr. Doom?
Dr. Chaos? Oh yeah, that's
Chaos.
one that's
Yeah.
got to get done at some point. Absolutely. That'll be an SGDQ game for next year, I think.
Are there different frames in the walking animation with different jumping lag? It's like depending on which frame in the walk you're in, there's a little lag as to whether you jump or not before you jump. Sometimes there isn't.
And you think it's tied to your walking animation, not to where you are on the screen?
That's what it's that's what it's looking like from here.
Mongo mentioning Super Nintendo Prince of Persia. That's an interesting game. I think Uranium Anchor had run that in at least one GDQ.
I think that was 12, if I remember correctly.
I think it was AGDQ 2012. That sounds right. As far as Prince of Persia like Super Nintendo games, though, I would be probably more inclined to do Blackthorn.
Someone suggested that actually for the SGL suggestion box.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I played that on PC as a kid. I never played the Super Nintendo version, but from what I can tell by looking at the videos, it appears to be essentially a pretty faithful port. I'm sure someone who's really familiar with the technical details of it would object at that point, but...
Okay, so that first jump I actually have a setup for, so that's nice.
There's also Nosferatu. It's a very similar type game.
Save that.
Let's play that.
Okay. So this first jump is trivial, it's just a matter of getting the second one consistent. Huh. That's neat.
Both players just trying to up their consistency at these 3 sticking points here.
Okay, the second one is going to be a hassle though. It's not a full jump and it's not a tiny jump. The first one's not. The first one's a sort of a mid-range jump. I think the second one I can tiny jump through. If I don't run off the edge of the platform.
Oh, you know what? Another thing you can do is if you've got like a streamer you watch and they've got a top time in a SNES game, then you can spread the word and let them know about the marathon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Get the word out. We're going to be reaching out to different top runners of games that we really want to see in this marathon and see if we can get some interest that way.
Yeah, but I bet there's all kinds of smaller games that we wouldn't think to even try to look for someone who runs those, right?
So yeah, there are a lot of Super Nintendo games.
There sure are. We've blocked out a whole 8 days for this thing.
Oh, jeez. Tiny jump, buffered 2 full jumps, and that first sequence is pretty easily scaled. Second one, on the other hand,
Yeah, PJ's got a couple games I hope he'll run.
PJ's got more than a couple games that I hope he can run.
The Super SNES? Yeah, I'd hope so.
That's right, his parents didn't name him that for nothing.
Oh, jeez. Actually, now I think about it, I'm probably gonna want to save state for this jump. Let's put, okay, never mind. Let's see.
A little less than 15 minutes left of practice. I think both these guys are feeling pretty good about some of these tricky jumps.
Certainly making more progress in that department than I thought I was going to make. Well, wait, okay. I think that might...
A quintet block. Actraiser 1, 2. And what is Robo Trek?
Oh yeah, that's a neat little run.
And they're also the, I don't know even what to call the trilogy, if it's even a trilogy.
Gaia.
Yeah, Illusion of Gaia, and there's like, what is it? Soul
Blazer.
And Terra Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Those would all be good.
Okay, and I see my problem. Before I was walking up to the edge of this platform and trying to do some sort of crazy mid-press jump to get this first cloud, but it doesn't look like I need it.
Oh,
Okay.
note to self, don't hit select. I have that map to reset.
Whoops. Alright. Let's try this boss again.
But yeah, I think we're probably gonna have to group games according to people's availability, rather than developers or series. I mean, we'll definitely try to put those kinds of things together when we can.
Okay.
Just wanting to hit the split right there, but that's not the end of the stage.
What's the Heaven and Earth trilogy?
That's the name for Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terra Enigma, I think.
Okay. There was a really awesome puzzle game called Heaven and Earth for the Macintosh.
I mean, he doesn't have to save RoboTrek for that. You can just do it at both.
break. It's second week of May. That's cool. I keep meaning to go to that one of these years, but... Well, that or Crystals for Life. Since that started, I've been wanting to go to one of these RPG marathons.
Would you do Final Fantasy 1?
I don't know.
He would do Swords and Serpents, because that clearly needs to be in a marathon.
Yes, I would do that. What is RPG Limit Break? It's just a marathon that is devoted to RPGs, and top RPG runners go to it. It's, I think the most recent one was at Essentia's house, the same location that the early SGDQs were at.
Yeah, it was.
Prior to that, I think it was that in British Columbia or something the last time?
It was at Poxnor's place. I don't know. I think he was in Edmonton for one. Yeah, I was in Edmonton both times, I think.
And yeah, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, nice, it's in Canada. It's going to be close for me. And then,
Nope,
Oh,
it's
no.
West Coast Canada.
yeah.
And you live in the more populous side of Canada as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Once you hit Vancouver, though, that's a pretty big chunk of people over there.
Alberta's only really populated in the spots between Edmonton and Calgary, right? There's like a little pocket between those two cities that's massively populated, and everything else is...
Prairies, yep.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Is there even a marathon safe route for Swords and Serpents?
Yeah, just don't play it.
Like, can't the last boss just take, like, multiple turns if he wants?
Yes, you can take... I've seen it take 2 turns in a row, 3 turns in a row. Even taking 2 turns in a row is usually enough to wipe the party.
I've seen 3. That is guaranteed to wipe the party.
Yep, 3, absolutely. Yeah, the floor 13 encounters, I mean, you make progress each time, because they don't respawn. Even if you game over, it takes you a couple minutes to get back there, and you're on to the next encounter. In fact, each time you game over to an encounter, that encounter's despawned, so you can just keep dying to and going back there, and you're guaranteed to eventually get through it. But the final boss, there's really not much you can do. I guess if you wanted to make it marathon safe, you would take another 2 levels. Another level or 2 would probably not take too long.
Both players accidentally ended up in a race here. Pretty much the same time on their timers. In the same spot.
It's a little mini preview race.
Derek making up some ground. By ground, I mean like 5 frames.
This may come down to optimizing landing lag for all I know.
He gets the boss kick.
Dragon Dark.
The kill. I was gonna say quick kill, but it's really like the only time you ever kill the boss.
It's the only kill.
Once he gets away, it's who knows.
If I can just remember to press up to up slash there, it would be so bad. Yeah, optimizing landing lag seems to be the entire challenge with getting an edge here.
You can buffer jumps though, right? So it would be possible to chain jumps together.
it's okay. I should rephrase. It's not landing lag. It's actually jumping lag, because you can't always jump immediately when you press
What
the
happens
button.
on the way up?
Yes.
You're supposed to press up to up slash. That's what error says.
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Error. I really appreciate it.
Yep, we're doing So Grande on this channel now. See, no one's happy. If we pick good games, people are like, oh, the games you're picking are too good. If we pick bad games, they're like, oh, the games you're picking are too bad. Every game's got to be really mediocre. What's the most mediocre game you can think of? And that's all we'll play.
Mediocre, huh?
I don't know too many Game Boy games, really. I played the hell out of Pokemon, Mario Land, and Tetris.
That's right, it's just bad enough. But see, that's the thing I like about speedrunning, is you make bad games into interesting challenges. The game itself can still be terrible, but the challenge that you from it can be exciting.
What was it?
Make them play
Dragon
Block.
Dark's already figuring out. It's like back-to-back, almost flawless runs. Like this is going to be a total frame war.
Yes, it definitely will be. And I remember the last time I was in the middle of a frame war. That was TNC Surf Designs.
Oh, you were caught up in that storm.
Yep.
I was on the bottom of that totem pole. I'm still slightly salty about that.
8 frames? I can't remember what the...
I think it was 4 frames. Yeah.
Kid Icarus, a good SGL game. I think so, right? That's been suggested before, and I think we agreed that it looked really good. Controversial TNC episode. I think this is a great pick as well. It's a straightforward platformer, so it's a nice, easy thing to learn to speedrun. But it's of a popular series, and it's a game that's sort of a black sheep of that series, although honestly I would say this game's probably better than number 3. Still, it's
Number 3 is just monotonous.
yeah, this game, it moves pretty quickly. You know, you've got a clear objective and you make progress, or you die, but that's how the game should be. And a relay was its Warriors 1 through 3.
Yeah, you're most of the way there.
I guess so. I would probably learn this game more readily, with less arm twisting than I would learn 3.
That was a pretty fast bet.
Yeah, that's right. The ties we've had on SGL have been legitimate ties, and not any of the games like TNC or Paperboy, where you would expect to get frame perfect ties.
I think we've had 5 now.
Mm-hmm. If you don't count the DNF ties, yeah.
Dragon Dark experimenting, adding in extra jumps.
afraid of that. Can't mash fast enough to save my life. Alright, let's work on that again.
Land there.
Jeez, this is the same kind of mashing I had to do for G.I. Joe for that sledgehammer boss, and God, my arms were aching for hours after that.
Yeah, the mashing was pretty intense in that game. I do okay with mashing. I think I get to like 12 hertz or something. But I had to really push it in order to get that guy down with any sort of consistency. This one I think you can at least have a rhythm.
That rhythm would probably have to be pretty fast because I can't seem to get the rhythm.
What is Ghost Lion?
Ghost Lion. It's
Legend
a
of the
NES
Ghost Lion?
RPG.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, that's apparently pretty good. I haven't played this, but I'm always getting it recommended to me. It's a NES RPG, not too well known.
Yeah, it's decent. It's different than your standard RPG at the very least.
Sounds cool.
Alright, well, I think we're ready to get this show on the road here.
I'm gonna try and finish this out real quick.
I guess. Oy.
I'm right at the boss, so I wanna just
Sure,
finish
that's
it up.
fine. Welcome everyone to SGL. This is our tournament match. We're doing the playoffs here. We've got Cards of the Heart versus Dragon Dark. They're both down in the losers bracket, and they're trying to fight their way out of it. Very close to the top. This is the second to topmost round of the losers bracket here. The winner of today's match will go on to play against Andy, and the winner of that will play against Error, and the winner of that plays against Jorf in the finals. So, pretty close to the end. Got a couple of pretty strong bosses ahead of you, whoever comes out of this match today. We're going to be playing, well, we'll be playing 2 matches tonight, and we may not have time for the third, but if that's the case, we'll continue this episode as soon as we possibly can. But we're going to have at least 2 matches for you tonight, and we've got Game Boy games. As you see here, we've got Wizards and Warriors X Fortress of Fear as our first match. And it looks like both players are ready to go, so I'm going to start them off.
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
I just want to get my own timer up so I know how much time is left.
Sure. And Cards, you're ready as well, right?
But I guess.
All right,
It's
I'm
not
good.
the game. Not the game I'm worried about.
Alright then, I'm going to give you guys the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, and these guys have 30 minutes to make as many attempts as they can of the first world of this game, of Wizards and Warriors X. And these guys have had an hour to work on this game. They've had an hour to practice. We revealed this mystery game just an hour before the show started. And these guys have been learning it, picking it up pretty quickly, getting really consistent times. The 2 PBs from these guys so far in practice are very close to each other. They're less than a second apart, I think. So this is going to be a really tight match here.
I want to jump in, but I'm also waiting for an introduction.
Oh, we're gradually rolling our way around to that. So I'm one of our hosts, Fiesel. Hello. I'm joined by our other host, Mythical 9.
Yeah, I'm here now. I'm
Should load off your shoulders.
yeah,
Just waiting in the green room.
I'm here and I'm ready for Wizards and Warriors and another mystery game tonight. And this is going to be interesting because you're right. There was less than a second between their PBs, and they got those times. I think it more than once each. So I think pretty quickly you're going to see them get on the board with something right around 2 minutes. And then you're going to see a whole lot of jumping and resets until they get, the 159 and maybe a 158. I don't know. We'll see how far they push it. But that's the kind of match this one is going to be for sure.
Wow, jump button just failed me.
Well, as each of these guys finishes a run, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of finished runs today, as each of these guys finishes a run, they will submit it to our web server, and our official timing referee, Arcano, will download that, play it back in emulator, and give us the official timing right down to the frame, which we'll put up in this box at the top of the screen. Thank you, Arc, for timing these runs for us.
No problem.
You can see these guys doing a whole lot of jumping. This is because there's a bit of lag, basically, when you go from walking to jumping, and we're not 100% sure what causes it. There's Cards was saying he feels like it has to do with your walking animation, and interrupting it at a certain time has a bit of a pause. So you can avoid that by sort of chaining your jumps together. Whenever you're forced to make one jump and you're forced to make another, you can chain those together with a couple other jumps. You avoid having that sort of a lag in your jump pop up there. But it does mean you need to route out a whole bunch of extra jumps in your route. So that's the kind of, they actually put time into that. That's the kind of minor time savings both these players decided to spend some of their precious hour on, just because there wasn't too much of a better way to spend it.
Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many cases where we have a great run that dies or doesn't die to the boss, but the run dies to the boss because you don't get all the hits in before he flies away. It's one of those things where you really just got to get it right, and if the boss escapes from you, there's no way you're going to be able to submit that time. It seems like it's just a matter of the timing of your button presses, but we did see these players having a little bit of trouble with it in practice, even knowing the strat. But Dragon Dark manages to get it there, clocks in at a 158.7.
That's really good, I think, actually, compared to his practice. I think that was, a third of a second better than some of his other runs. It does look like his consistency on this bat boss seems to be quite a bit higher than Cards.
Yeah, I'm really having to mash the attack button to get him somewhat consistently.
Dragon Dark was in the Swordmaster episode, if I remember correctly, and that had a boss where timing of your hits to keep the boss stun locked was critical, and that gave him a huge edge in that one.
Yeah, I remember that. That game.
Not
easily forgotten.
No, that was a weird game. Very fascinating, really. I'm glad that you guys did well with it, but I can't imagine what it must be like to run that whole game. So much stuff has to go right to get a run.
I just partially fell through the floor.
Oh, yep, that was a weird glitch there.
It is a Wizards and Warriors game.
Yeah, we were discussing whether or not mashing or a rhythm technique would be better for this boss. I tend to prefer a rhythm whenever I can. Because I can mash pretty good when I, throw my whole mind and body into it. But when you need to be playing a game before and after the mashing, I think my mashing's actually not so good, so...
Yeah, it's a lot harder to mash when you actually have something that you're doing besides just hitting the button a lot. Well,
see
we've
a
got
pretty good example of that in the jackhammer in technique in Zelda 2, which we've been casting a whole bunch of lately.
Yep, absolutely. You got to do that. Blaster Master's got some examples of that as well.
So I'm guessing the time went up on the board that I
Yep.
cut you off.
158.6.
This might be an example where the players are well served by being as accurate as possible on their first two splits to get an idea of whether or not they're really ahead or behind.
Finding myself dying to this jump a whole bunch, so I'm gonna take a little extra time to practice it. Those of you just wondering.
Yep, we have a different sort of format than most other speedrun events here on the show. Players are free to reset as much as they want, and if they get the run, a good one, they're allowed to keep going to improve it. And it focuses on just a short chunk of a game rather than the whole thing. But that said, this 30 minutes we give them to kind of do runs, they can spend that 30 minutes however they want. So if they decide the best way to spend that 30 minutes to win this thing is to spend a minute or two practicing something, they can go ahead and do that. They just have to make sure they reset to back to the beginning before they continue their run.
Nice to actually see parts of 1-1 now.
Yeah, Rainwave is dying on us, and we run out of Wizards and Warriors Fortress of Fear music, so I'll put Iron Sword on.
Okay.
You should time Icefire Mountain for the last 2 minutes of the match.
Nice.
Another completed run from Dragon Dark. 0.3 seconds shaved
Yep.
off of his PB, down to a low 158. Ark will play that back and give us the exact timing. We'll find out how bad the damage is.
It's a 158.3, and also you owe your insurance company $565.
I don't know where I can pick up time now, though.
Yeah, that's a weird situation. Do you just keep doing runs in the hopes that you pick up a couple frames somewhere, or do you spend some time doing some investigation? Either way, it's a much better place to be than where Cards is at right now. Trying to get his first time on the board there. He needs to get a sense of just how ahead or behind he is from the kinds of times that Dragon Dark is getting. He did have one run that was pretty good, but lost it trying to cut some corners on the elevator just before the boss.
Did not think that would be a place where most of my runs would die.
Carpaggio's greatest hits. I don't know if I want to listen to that.
You're playing one of Garbaggio's greatest hits right now.
Don't they call it trash metal or something like that?
Yeah, sorry I had to turn the music off for a moment. I was getting some stream lag for some reason, so I'm just going to restart the browser. But first I've got to render this this comparison video so we get to Get to see how Dragon Dark's 158.3 compares to what both these players are doing.
Okay.
Cards managed to not get hit by those 2 knights there after the spell wears off. So he's going to the bat boss with a bunch of extra health.
Okay.
Not really all that helpful, but...
Zero, we've mostly tuned it out by now. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. That's good. Takes so long to get there and forget what to do. Yeah, good. Yeah, good stuff.
He's going to reset and get back there.
Oops, sorry about that.
He was definitely on pace. It's hard to tell exactly how that was going to shake out, but
A little bit loud. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh,
So I'm watching back Dragon Dark's run, and I'm finding it hard to spot any sort of small mistakes where you could have lost a couple of frames. Like there's always the like couple of frames where you're starting the jump, and the warrior has that slight jumping animation at the start when you're chain jumping. But other than that, I don't really see anything.
we've definitely had a couple games like this on the show before. I'm thinking mostly of Felix the Cat was one where it was possible to just kind of hold right and get through the stage without ever letting go of it. So as long as you didn't die or fall in a pit, you pretty much had that theoretical perfect time.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are like that. A lot of really straightforward platformers that don't have any way to speed up your
trying
movement.
to do too much.
But typically having a boss fight will fix that. But in this game, the boss fight is you go up to that ledge, you hit the B button a bunch of times, and you're done. So that doesn't really help.
Is this the finals? This is not the finals. I would call this part of the semifinal round. There's basically 5 players left at this point.
I thought it was easy to tell that this wasn't the finals because I'm here.
Hey, you took out Toad and Andy.
I still don't know how I did that.
Andy
Must've been-
is the player waiting in the next match further down the bracket. So if Cards were to win here, we would have one of our first instances of a rematch, I think.
So these players took some kind of different paths to get here. Both of them made it pretty far into the tournament before they got eliminated. But Cards at the Heart beat out Mikey 3-0, and then Toad beat him out 2-1, so somewhat closer one between him and Toad, but Cards was the guy who knocked Toad out. Then Cards actually eliminated Andy. Oh, look at that, a 158.1 from Dragon Dark. Third time he's had up there on the board. But yeah, Cards eliminated Andy, and then lost to Error. Error made it all the way up to the winners finals, but Cards got eliminated by Error. Then down in the lower bracket, this is it. This is his first match in the lower bracket right here. Him versus Dragon Dark.
God, I can't take minus 0.1 or plus 0.1s.
Yeah, at this point, with just sub-second improvements,
Wow.
0.1 is probably something to reset over.
Cards blowing it on that bat boss again.
Boy, it's so hard. It's so used to jumping all the way to this point, and then you get
All of a
there.
sudden, you
gotta
actually have to attack
switch
something.
switch it up. For some reason, I haven't got the muscle memory in yet.
when are all the last matches happening? Some of it this weekend, some of it soon. We want to get them all done before the end of the year.
That's not gonna make it.
The dream is to get them all done and still do a Christmas episode in time for Christmas.
Well, if anyone wants to be part of the Christmas episode, any SGL players who'd love to join us for our holiday episode, we'll probably end up doing that one the weekend of the 26th and 27th, but I'm not sure yet which date and time that's going to be. But if your schedule is in general pretty free that weekend, maybe you could just sign up even though we don't know exactly when it'll be yet, because the higher priority is going to be getting the tournament finished, because we may end up having the finals like sometime really close to New Year's, so maybe that weekend or soon after that, if we don't get it done before then. It's all going to depend on people's schedules and who wins which matches. Just Home Alone games. It's just Home Alone and Die Hard.
Oh no!
I've been looking, and I think to save my sanity, I will just say it's going to be Super Nintendo games. I thought about trying to find Christmas games for every platform and letting players go nuts, but I've stumbled upon a lot of Super Nintendo games that work well, and I think I'm just going to stick with that. Gremlins it's a Christmas movie, but the game isn't very Christmassy, is it?
I don't know if that's faster.
I'll submit it and Ark will find out. It's true, Bible Adventures is on the NES. I think that it's NES, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So unfortunately that won't be there.
B, not A, B, B, B.
Well, we're almost 2/3 of the way through our match here. We've had a couple of submitted runs from Dragon Dark. Cards has got pretty high standards here. He's working on getting the perfect run, because that's what he needs.
158.6.
Bit
Oh
into
boy,
his was
here we
PB.
go. Here we go.
He's got the 158 there, but that tenth of a second is going to matter a whole lot in a match like this.
Yeah, he's going to need to find half a second of time somewhere.
Your last one was 4 frames slower.
4 frames slower, Dragon Dark's most recent submission. Just a few stages. They're just doing World 1 here. So it's 1-0 through 1-3 or something.
Yeah, we don't want to give them too much because they only have an hour to practice.
Right, we want these guys to be good at the game that we give them.
And man, are they good at it.
They sure are. Just, we want to see highly optimized movement, and that's exactly what we got here. I mean, sometimes it's fun to just see a goal that's really hard to complete, and people are just trying to get through it, to master the challenges of it. They don't, not so much concerned about saving every frame, but
Oh,
I don't know. I like
Really?
ones like this a lot.
didn't think I could actually miss the door.
Oh, that was a neat way to lose a run there. Just jump way over the door trigger. Yeah, no problem. Jay is my hero in chat, asking questions. What we do here is a little unique, a little different, a little weird. So often people who come in for the first time are a little, what exactly is going on here? Why do they keep resetting? Okay. Very, very common.
That was not how you jump, Kuros.
Well, Cards' run is up there on the board. It's a 158.63, so he's 0.53 seconds away from Dragon Dark's run. We got the comparison video up there. We see Cards' run, his current run, being compared against Dragon Dark's PB, the 158.1.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch.
So you can
Definitely
figure out
keep
where
an
this
eye on
half
that.
second's coming
Yeah,
from. So far, neck and neck.
and if you figure it out, let the players know.
I know exactly where the
Please.
time is coming from.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
That's not gonna
Right
work.
there. Oh, wait. What's even happening on this block? Oh, okay. The block's on a fixed timer, so that's not it.
I know where the time is coming from on Cards, and I know where Dragon Dark and Cards can save a tiny bit of time.
he's gonna keep everyone in the dark though. Dang. Tease.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be biased. He notices. Well, I guess you notice everybody's runs, things that they can improve in them.
So I will say where both of them can improve. There is a ledge that they need to jump up to where I think it's in 1-2 or 1-1. They walk towards a chest with a bat flying over it, and both players opt to jump over that bat and then stop for a little bit as they jump up to the ledge. What they could do is potentially damage boost through that bat and land on the ledge from that single jump instead of doing a double doing
I
two
think you'll
jumps.
end up hitting the chest. Is the problem.
Yeah, the hitbox on the
Sounds
chest
right.
is massive, but maybe there's a way to get through there. I
Yeah,
don't think
if
anyone.
If they can cut that jump, then that'll save quite a few frames.
Oh, I don't know if that was faster or not.
Dragon Dark submits another run that's basically tied with his PB.
I'm already having a hard enough time just trying to incorporate as many buffer jumps in as I can. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do all those little time savers. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I know for a fact there are different frames in Kuros's walking animation where jumping doesn't take any lag at all, but not
Nope. Ark is wrong. You cannot make. I ended up getting the chest, and I couldn't even make it up to the platform if I jumped before it.
So it's a question of how close can you cut your jump over the chest without actually picking it up.
Exactly.
You can make that jump, then there's a bunch of frames to be saved because
Yeah, you change the whole game if you can figure that out. An entire half second, unprecedented. No one in the Wizards and Warriors X community thought it was possible.
Wait, there's a Wizards and Warriors X community?
That's the joke.
You guys are it.
There is now.
Dang.
Dragon Dark, that last one was 6 frames slower.
Damn. I know where I'm pretty sure I know where I lost it too.
Jesus Christ.
Bit of a backslide from Dragon Dark. Every run's a little bit slower.
I guess a reminder that this is a best of 3 situation here, so this match is not over. After Wizards and Warriors, we will at least have one more game for you. I like that Malkiel's just waiting to vent, basically. Like, before you show up, he's just doing circles, pacing around his room. I'm just gonna... Man, when he gets here, I'm gonna let him know my wrath's so good.
Ooh. Okay.
0.3 on the green splits. I'm gonna guess that came in the elevator room.
No, I know where that came from. That came from a tighter jump over the chest.
Oh. There it is, being mindful about that. Squeezed out a couple frames. Cards gets a back kill here.
Nice bat kill.
Looking at
did
it,
something right.
this 0.0 here, so chances are not great. I mean, with these manual splits, it's you never know, but I think these guys are splitting as accurately as they can because those splits are very important in their decision making. So I think it's gonna have trouble making up an extra 0.3 or so here.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, Dragon Dart gets him down. It is the world's first 157. Doesn't make it sound so much more appealing.
I don't know where I can save time now.
Oh, maybe skipping invincibility. That would be a hell of a thing.
Yeah, that was suggested by Luoco Code in chat. Skipping the invincibility. These guys certainly considered it when they were practicing and opted to go with invincibility, but
There's gotta be a reason the task doesn't skip it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's just some jumps over those guys where you would have to wait if you wanted to get through them without just losing all your hearts. They do 2 damage, and your hit stun only lasts about a second, if that.
Oh, that almost works.
Dragon Dart looking for new jump chains here.
Freaking hell, that's not gonna make it. Okay.
oh, so that it was Cards of the Heart's new run that came in. Yeah, it was a 158.62.
Yeah, he saved 1 frame.
Hey, got it.
Classic.
1 frame at a time, right?
Yeah, he's looking for more like 45, but I guess he'll take it.
If you give me a minute, I'll tell you the exact number of frames that he needs.
That'll help.
Yes, like
Some good synchronization between these 2 players right now.
Gross, please, chain your jumps like I tell you to.
Okay, Cards needs 49 frames.
Dang. That's a lot of frames.
wait.
Oh, that almost made it. Wow, that would have been a sick jump combo.
Nope.
Yeah, I think Fiesel's playing other Wizards and Warriors songs.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a really fun optimization if the crouch walk into doors saved time because it was like extending your hitbox.
Well, it's last call time, guys. This is your last call to reset. And
No,
that's it.
not a
No
very
more
tight
resets
jump.
past right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, Card's already in the pit.
Oh,
That's not gonna beat it.
this is a
Waited to
very
see if it would
uphill climb.
respawn him in a new level or something. But
Wrong
Nope.
warp to the bat.
Let's see, it is hidden warp down here. Let's take a look. Maybe
There's
this
chest
will
down
get
there.
something. Alright, I don't know. Right, did I lose the
The
key when I
key.
died?
I guess so. Dragon Dark on a bit of a victory lap here. Ooh, a jinxed emote. That's a good one.
I keep wanting to split there.
I think rare was actually rare when they made this. But it was definitely that group of people, yes. Yeah, that's true. If you want to skip ahead, you need to go to the left side of the screen and you tap up until you float backwards through it.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
But that's it. That is the end of our first match. Wizards and Warriors X Fortress of Fear. The winner is Dragon Dark by 49 frames, I believe, was the final count.
48 frames. The cards needed 49 to beat him.
Right. Very, very important distinction there.
You just gotta know exactly how many frames I lose by.
Oh, wow, okay.
You can just jump over that wall. Okay.
Okay, game. Whatever you say.
That's true. I have no idea what the rest of this game even looks like.
The last place it registered me as standing was up on top.
Up on the wall. Yep. So it definitely it's accounting for it. It does look Ninja Gaiden-esque, doesn't it? Just missing some spikes. That is our first match. He's setting up second match here. It will be revealed very shortly.
I think I'm about ready to reveal the next game to you guys. Are you ready to start this?
Oh, is it going to be our second choice from our list?
Yes.
Well, it'll be whatever
same
the
list.
second highest voted was. Yep.
I didn't know if you were going to give us another set of voting or not, but okay, that works too.
Yeah. We're gonna use the same voting pool.
Alright.
Right. So we got the next game is revealed. It is Shantae for the Game Boy Color.
I had a feeling that was going to be coming up.
Huh.
I knew that would get picked pretty quickly once that game was added to the voting pool. I didn't think it would last more than one episode.
I voted that like number 7. Jeez.
Also, Dragon Dark, can you switch to the new version of the script? I think you're running the old Lewis script.
I thought I had the new version for the Game Boy.
It should have dash NES. No, it should have dash Game Boy or something like that in the.
Let me check. Yeah, mine says it's
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can easily just get it
yeah, I
again
can
from the
just
site.
download it. Just delete this one, get a new
Well,
one.
here, let's hold up. Let's wait on the practice for just a moment till you can get that.
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna black my screen out so people aren't looking at this stuff.
Meanwhile, I'll look for the Shantae soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good one.
So this is a game I really don't have much experience with. Mythical came up with this goal, and I think he got into this game because of the hair attack.
A hair whipping, yes.
Hair whipping attack, yeah.
Someone saw me playing Kabuki Quantum Fighter and said, "You know what? You should try this game." And it actually has like a very it's like a cult classic. The people who like this game really like this game and the whole series. They went on to do Risky's Revenge on the DS, and that also came to Steam. And then they made Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for 3DS and Wii U, and that also came to Steam. And they're working on Half Genie Hero, which was kickstarted, and that will be out sometime soon, I think. But this was where they started with the Shantae series, and I think there's a lot of things I think that is really cool about this game. It has a sense of humor about it. It makes great use of the Game Boy Color hardware. You'd be pretty surprised actually at some of the ways they use color palettes, and you'll see the animation here on Shantae is it's surprising how many curves and wiggles they get out of a handful of pixels like that. But But yeah, on top of that, the platforming and the mechanics are all solid too. So it's actually a really great game. It came out so late in the Game Boy Color's lifespan that it has special upgraded secret-ish things if you play it on a Game Boy Advance. But because of that, I think it's actually pretty rare. They didn't make too many of them, and
Oh, it's extremely rare. Like you'd
Yeah.
be lucky to find it under $200 or $300.
yeah. So if you want to speedrun it legit, that sucks. So if you look at the leaderboards for this game, I think all 4 times are tagged emulator. That's a steep price tag.
Are you all set, Dragon Dark?
Yeah, I have the new
All right,
script.
let's start practice officially then.
Oh, it's on 3DS Virtual Console. It's not easy to get to capture off a 3DS though. There's a lot of tips in the tips section.
I see that.
Well, why don't you explain a little bit about this goal? Explain, I guess, what the goal is, and then maybe we can talk about what these guys need to know.
So this is the first dungeon in the game. It's Gerbil Fountain, and the sort of gimmick of this game, you're actually not going to see it in this goal, but Shantae can do various dances to transform into animals, basically. There's a monkey that can climb walls and jump really high. There's an elephant that can knock down things and stomp. And there is a spider that can climb on background objects. And then there's like I guess it's like a harpy, but it just straight up flies, and it's the best thing. Once you get that, you're never really going to do anything else. And this is before you get those things. You get the monkey in this. I think the goal ends very shortly before they get the monkey. There's a really this kind of annoying section where you need to bring a stone slab through several rooms before you unlock the way. So the goal ends before there. Also, the goal's kind of long too, so it makes for a good stopping point. Cards has found this one room here where as soon as you enter, you need to jump very, very quickly or you run into the water. But that said, even though none of the transforming mechanics are in this goal, there's still a lot going on. There's items you can have for like sub-weapons. They are starting with I think it's called the Storm Puff. And they also have the Pike Ball, which is a shield that sort of spins around you. There is one Vanish Cream, which makes you invincible to enemies and projectiles. And I think there's just a potion that refills your health. The Storm Puff is really hard to use. It sends out this little storm cloud thing, and it floats for a little bit, and then it shoots down lightning. But if you can line it up, it does a whole ton of damage. So I think there's at least one place that I think it could really come in handy. But it's really hard to set up. The Pike Ball, I think, would be an interesting option. Unfortunately, it seems to cause a ton of lag whenever it kills things. But none of these items are in the speedrun because they cost money, basically, and money does not come easy in this game. It's a lot faster to just run past enemies rather than try to kill them and get money on the way. There's a couple jars where I think the speedrun goes out of its way to break open and get some big gems, because there's you can buy, I think exit candies is the main priority for the speedrun, which lets you exit out of dungeons quickly. You can imagine how that would save time in a speedrun. But yeah, they don't have any money to buy some of these fancy items that players have access to here. So the tool-assisted run does. The tool-assisted run farms big 5 gem drops off of infinitely respawning enemies with perfect luck. So it actually is able to afford all kinds of fun stuff. that means there's no real video resources that use some of the tools these players have available to them, so they're gonna have to do some thinking about how and where the best place is to use those. You see cards here jumping over the baby warp squid. You have to collect 4 of them and bring them back to the warp squid mother, and then she'll help you. She'll give you a dance so that you can teleport around to various towns. It's actually, I think you end up grabbing them in a speedrun because using them to teleport and navigate the overworld more quickly ends up being worth the time.
Dark, did you re-enable your capture?
Not yet. I'm watching a video.
Just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
There's a couple of puzzly elements. You're going to see some of it in this goal with these stone pillars where you have to spin them around until you get the correct combination. But I mean, the combination's just written on a wall beforehand. It's not really all that clever, really, but there's some actually, I think I'm thinking of Risky's Revenge, where they come up with some stuff that's pretty good. This platform room that Cards is in, I think there's a way to make an early cycle that one of the speedrun videos tries for. It doesn't quite get it. But I suspect that the platforms you can control when they spawn by moving the screen around. So that is something to consider, because then that you might be able to line up the platforms to create opportunities for an early cycle. Got Dragon Dark throwing out the Storm Puff here on this water enemy. We'll see if he can line it up.
Not this
Pretty
time.
pretty hard to use. Cards looks like he's getting the hang of these platforms.
No, I thought I was out of my element with most platformers. Oh man, this is a whole nother.
Yeah, this is a whole B to run game, so you end up having a lot of buttons and directions held down all over the place.
Wow, it really didn't want to let that item out.
Yeah, using items is a little tricky. You need to be in a neutral state, I think. You can't be in your attack animation, you can't be in your walking or running animation. I think we're listening to this Shantae soundtrack at this point.
That's
Maybe
right.
not. Yeah. So I think the music actually is another big selling point of this game. Composed by Jake Kaufman, otherwise known as Vert.
I'll have to save state there.
I think these stone pillar combinations are actually randomized. but the nature of playing from a save state means it's going to be the same time. Which is good, because certain combinations are faster than others. But it does mean when you're speedrunning, you have to glance at the picture on the wall as you run past it and translate that into a certain number of hair whips up and down and stuff like that, so it's kind of interesting. You also, you don't get your running jump unless you are running before you jump. So quite often you'll be standing and then you want to do a running jump, and if you jump just before you start moving, you'll get a slow jump instead. If anyone saw the Jorf versus Canonophone match, that was a Game Boy Color game called Wendy Every Which Way, and it looks quite similar to this. It's also done by Way Forward. They used a lot of similar pixel animation techniques, and the UI and some of the color palettes are spot on too.
Jeez, it's not backtracking. Okay. Let's see if I can at least do that much.
Getting a bit of a look at how they use color palettes when they enter this light and dark areas.
Yeah, that is a neat effect.
Okay.
I think it actually becomes a game mechanic in the third dungeon. You kind of hide in the darkness.
The jump's a fixed height, or do you have control over your jump height?
You have a bit of control over it. It's got a pretty high minimum, but there is a gradient between that and the max.
I'm gonna avoid that cycle. Wow. Okay.
Down two.
I'm not feeling very good about that.
I keep wanting to try to buffer my frickin' jumps.
Oh, after all the Wizards and Warriors.
Yep, this music is from the game.
Wow, okay, that might work. Not if I do that.
As this is only part of the first dungeon, I think there's a whole lot of game left. wouldn't be surprised if you see this game come up on SGL again.
Maybe a good way to balance that. Hmm.
Nope, that must be a full jump. Okay, I like that.
That might be a little easier.
Oh, okay. Time. Yeah, that works really well. This. Alright, one more time.
Kind of running out of hearts here. Okay.
Well, you do have a potion, if you want to go that route. I feel like once you guys get this goal down, the potion won't be very useful. Oh, if you press select, you start dancing. I think you need to press select to get back out of it. Or you can just sit there and dance.
I'd not have to open the menu if I can help it.
You know, dancing is fun and it's kind of cute, so why don't you just do that the whole time?
It's super cute.
I think I'd rather watch her dance than play this game right now, to be honest.
Well, still not too far into our practice period, only about a quarter of the way in here. This is usually the spot where the players feel the most uncomfortable with the goal.
Yeah, this is where they start to feel like they should have learned by now, but they haven't quite.
Right, the first 10 minutes, it's like, okay, what do we have here? How am I doing? But then the second 10 minutes, that's when the despair kicks in. And you realize how much there is to it and how far you have to go.
5 stages of SGL. Some players never get around to acceptance.
Snailfish on blocked, okay.
Oh, Dragon Dark looked like you got the fast cycle on those platforms.
Fish fit. You stupid blocks.
Yeah, I actually wrote out the pillar combinations in the notes. So if you're just like glancing at them, all of a sudden you see snail, fish, octo, octo.
So where are you supposed to get these combinations from?
They're just written on the wall in the room beforehand.
Let's put another save state here.
So what do you have in terms of air control?
Full left-right control, and your jump has a pretty high minimum jump height. You can't really tap it to do a really short hop. But between that minimum and maximum, you can control how high you go.
And you don't have a lot of momentum?
Nope. You pretty much snap left and right.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
The one trick is that you can't sort of you can't run in midair. you have to be running before you jump in order to get your running speed in midair. So sometimes you're standing still and then you want to do a big jump, so you kind of hit run, right, and jump at the same time, but jump comes out a frame or two earlier, and you end up doing a slow jump in the air.
I see. Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that happen by accident at some
Snailfish.
point.
I'm sure we will.
Oops. Oh, okay.
I think the tool-assisted run manipulates the fastest pattern out of the stone pillars, that it only has to hit each thing once.
Is the pattern fixed for these guys from this save state?
Mm-hmm.
But normally it would be randomized based on when you enter the level.
I suppose, yeah. Maybe it's like, on game creation or something. I don't know, but I do know that the tool-assisted run and this save state and the regular speed run have different patterns. So I assume that's not something...
It seems
Designers
like when you
can
hit
control.
one, it doesn't always pick the same one like right off the bat.
I had one pattern that was like 4 snails in a row.
Oh,
That was one of the older save states. And then I changed something and got a different pattern.
I wasn't holding up and it just used that damn item.
It's a shame the items have this sort of animation that she does when you use them in other games. They just sort of appear, so they're a little more speedrun friendly.
Oh, really?
The tool-assisted run does something cool to grab this key really quickly, this second key that bounces. Cards is coming to the end of the goal here. And through that locked door, and that's where this goal ends. So he has an idea of what he's up against now.
I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I have about a level 2 of confidence that I'm going to be able to actually finish a competent run.
Oh man.
The overwhelming confidence.
It served him well before. Still a whole 37 plus minutes here.
Should have made the goal longer.
Wait, did I want to do that? I think I did. Okay.
I actually played around with the idea of having the goal be longer.
That would have gone over well.
I actually wouldn't have minded this as a week-long goal, but just an hour to practice this, I'm kind of freaking out. Not gonna lie.
I mean, in terms of you have to memorize a couple of jump sequences, like in that one of the first rooms we come to, with all those gray pillars and crabs. You kind of are jumping at things you can't quite see there. So there's a bit of memorization for that stuff. But yeah, there's the platform room, and maybe the sort of mini boss fight at the start. Or kind of sticking points.
Good luck, boy. Good luck getting past that cycle, jeez.
Yeah, I think you need to land basically as soon as you can.
Yes, that's definitely something in platformers I'm very good at.
I think you can get away with only taking one damage boost in that section that's just filled with crabs, but it's pretty tight.
Oh, good. We go for that.
Ugh. Oh, what am I doing? Well, I really don't know where I'm going right now.
Cards is trying not to panic here. There's a couple of just quirks to the movement that I think will become second nature before, not too long.
Okay.
The combination, because this thing.
Okay. Oy.
Oh, there it is. The non-running jump. Brings a practice run there.
Jump up here first.
I think Shantae and the Pirate's Curse was ran at AGDQ. I don't know if it was this year or the year before. I think it might have been this year. The Sound Defense, I believe, ran it. But I'm not sure if there's been any other Shantae at the GDQs. I actually found something that the Tool Assisted guy did not know about. I was streaming a casual playthrough, and he came in to check it out, and there's a spot with a heart container, and you're supposed to use some items, basically. There's a couple hard containers where you need to use a specific item to get through. And this one was you're supposed to use the vanish cream and disappear, and then this thing won't see you and it won't close a door on you. But I managed to like run in front of it and trigger it, and then run away and get the door to come up, and while it was going up, quick turn around and run back in before it closes again. And he was watching and he was just like, "What? I didn't know you could do that." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "No, I made the tool-assisted run for this game. I didn't put that in my 100% run." I guess that's the closest thing I've ever come to sort of finding a speedrun trick.
That was a bad idea. Oh god, so much lag entering that room. What was I doing last time to make the cycle? That's really weird.
Oh, they've done all three. That's cool. That's a little better. Only a little. Oh. Looks like Dragon Dark's ready to start doing full runs here. Busting out the script.
Ugh.
Fish. Oh my god, I'm so close.
I've been pretty impressed with all the Game Boy Color games I've tried out for SGL. It's too bad it was kind of just like a passing phase in between regular Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it didn't up the resolution at all, but I think it actually did have some more RAM in there to help it do some things.
The games sure looked a lot better, even if they're not technically more complex.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that they get colors, but they also just have more in-depth palettes to work with.
Might also just be the fact that all the Game Boy Color games were made later, and just years later, after people had a lot of experience developing for the Game Boy, they were able to make better games. Or at least more complex ones.
Okay. Helps a little bit. Oh, really?
Card's got the sort of half early cycle on the platform. A way to recover from if it doesn't go perfectly.
Do that.
Dang, first Game Boy had a 9-year life cycle.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. 89 for the beginning of Game Boy. And it wasn't until 1998 when we were already into N64 period, right? I think that's around the beginning of N64.
98 was the year Ocarina of Time came out. And then Game Boy Color was around for like a year or two before Advance came out. I really like the Game Boy Advance for some reason.
Game Boy Advance has a pretty good library for it.
Just something about the way they look and sound. There's a lot of resolution packed into the tiny screen.
Get up there, Shantae.
First Game Boy Advance game I played was Wario Land 4. I
think it's the launch title. Mhm.
And I loved that game. That was just so much fun.
I got one at launch, the first console I ever bought with my own money. I think I told this story before. Not much of a story, really. But I bought the 2 Zelda games, Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Those are actually color games, but they came out around then. But I got F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which is actually a pretty decent version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Although they introduced this thing where you can you tap a direction to automatically spin a 180, and it meant that you could do like 1080s of anything you wanted all over the place. So you would do Tony Hawk's Special, the 900, but it would be like a 1080 900. Both players experimenting with sort of walking this water elemental creature up to the door, but the gate behavior seems a little strange. I'm not exactly sure what determines when it'll open for you. $1080, 900, hut, hut, hut. Calling an audible here. Both players getting the platforms.
Well, I'm happy to see both players doing full runs. It's nice with with still almost 20 minutes left to go. That's plenty of room to learn, but they're already trying to put it all together.
Oh good, I only gave them 3 splits. I forgot Game Boy is sort of limited to
I don't know how I
3
got.
splits.
No, you can get a 4th split out of it.
Yeah, but it looks weird.
Yeah, it does. I don't know how I got that 3rd one or that 4th one.
There you go.
Oh, really?
Shantae music is really good.
Yeah, Vert always puts out good soundtracks.
Yeah, the Shantae ones have a sort of an Arabian vibe going on.
Oh, really?
Oh snap. It's a raid, but I can't tell if it's from Clage or PJ. Welcome guys, you're just in time for some Shantae practice.
That's right, we got about, up there on the clock, 17 minutes of practice left, and then these guys are going to face off in our match, second match of the evening. Dragon Dark is already up 1 win, so if he wins the next one, then he advances to the next round of the tournament. But if Cards can win this one, then we'll go to a 3rd match, or it will be decided by a 3rd match. The limiting factor, unfortunately, is that Dragon Dark's internet gets cut off at random at midnight. So,
Yeah.
so it's,
They're doing maintenance on the lines, so it's. They said it shouldn't be down more than half an hour, but they didn't say exactly when that half hour was going to be. So it could be anywhere between midnight and 6 a.m.
Oh, that's fun. Super happy
I
bros
have
in
work
chat.
in the morning anyway, so I don't want to be up too late if I can help it.
Yeah, we won't force you to do things you don't want to do. Super happy bros in chat knows Shantae. He's interested to see how the caravan is handled. That's an aspect of this game where one of the towns is a roving town. It can appear in a couple different places, and you need to go there for story reasons. So that can be pretty annoying when you're speedrunning. I think that's one of the places that the speedrun collects warp squids for, so that they can get the warp to that town, so they don't have to track it down. And maybe there's even some RNG involved in, like, if it appears in a favorable place, the save time backtracking. I'm not sure. But because this show focuses on taking a small chunk of a game and giving players a certain amount of time to sort of work on it and optimize it, players they're not going to have to worry about that. The goal for today is just the first chunk of the first dungeon here, Dribble Fountain. They're going to be grabbing the first 2 keys and getting to the second locked door of this dungeon, and that's going to be the end of the goal.
Yeah, we like to carve out a small piece of the game because the focus is on how fast these guys, or how well these guys can learn a speedrun that they've never tried before. And they only have an hour to do it, so we just give them one stage here.
Sort of in between a regular speedrun and a blind run.
Starts out a blind run and turns into a speedrun. These guys have already pretty well gotten the hang of it. They have another 14 minutes of practice, but I think that they're looking pretty solid already.
I think Cards would disagree with you, but
Nope.
Yeah, there's almost no way I'm gonna be able to put something together that'll even challenge Dragon Dark. Like, if I had a week to practice this goal, then maybe I would have some confidence that I could find a way to get it all done. But with an hour, I find myself generally bad at platforming, and I'm a very slow learner. So this is like the worst of both worlds for me.
Yeah, we do deal with a lot of platformers on the show. And yeah, it's mystery round this time.
I think my mystery game record is something like 8 and 12 or something pathetic like that.
Yeah, well, definitely starting out blind here, but they hopefully can learn some strats in time to be able to put a good run together.
I think with some of the tools they have available to them that aren't in the regular speedrun, it wouldn't be all that crazy for them to get a time faster than the speedrun for this section of the game.
Just because they start with better equipment than you would in an any percent run.
Yeah. The Storm Puff for sure can save time in one spot, and the Vanish Cream maybe saves time. I don't know. It's debatable because you have to go into the menu and switch to it and use it, but then it'll save you from taking a whole bunch of hits, and I'm not sure what the trade-off is.
So it's temporary invincibility.
Yeah.
But you have to go into your menu and spend that time in order to use it.
It'd definitely be worth it if they started with it equipped. But I just start them with the Storm Puff.
What's the Storm Puff do?
It puffs a storm. No, I don't know. You throw it out and it kind of hovers out there for a little bit. It travels horizontally a little bit, and then it stops and shoots lightning straight down. So all in all, the whole process between you initiate using it and the lightning coming down is like 3 to 4 seconds. So it's really hard to use, but it does a ton of damage. I think it one-shots the water elemental mini-boss if you can figure out how to line it up.
Well, we do normally. The question was about what kind of schedule we have. Normally, during the regular season, we do this twice a week. We'll do Thursday nights. We'll do mystery matches like this, where the players have an hour to practice the game, and then they do a 30-minute match. Then they spend an hour practicing the next game and do another 30-minute match, and we'll just do those back to back. And then on Saturday afternoons, we do shows where the players had the whole week to work on the game, so they just show up and play the goals that they've been practicing that week, and then we give them one mystery game that they spend an hour on, just to throw in some mystery there. But yeah, we normally do Thursday and Saturdays, but because we're at the end of our season here, at the end of the year, we're doing a playoff tournament, and so it's been the schedule's been kind of erratic because it depends on who gets paired against whom and trying to find spots that both players are available. So really the thing to do is just look at the schedule, and we'll just post on there and check the Twitter, and we'll tweet about when episodes are coming up and what games they'll be. Sometimes we know in advance what the game will be, and sometimes it's a mystery until the day of the show.
Nightbot fell asleep.
Fell asleep again.
Yeah, if you wanna keep on touch with the episodes for this tournament, the best way is probably to follow either the channel or follow at Speed Gaming Show on Twitter, and then we'll tweet out when these things are starting. But as of I guess January, we'll be back with a regular season 2, and then we'll be resuming our regular Saturday and Thursday time slots. Fire Striker. I've never heard of it. Give it a look. We're always looking for volunteers to help with the show, so some goal suggestions are always welcome. Whoa, it's like Breakout, but not. This is actually really cool. And I think it would actually work really well for the show. And it's not often we find a game that's not a platformer that works well for the show, but this might be one. That's a cool suggestion. Thanks for that.
I like Mungo's link there. Trying to bait everybody into subscribing by accident.
Oh man, I didn't know you could do a link to a subscription thing. That's devious.
Yeah. First round, we did a pretty good game.
It was Wizards and Warriors.
No, it wasn't. It was a good game. Yeah, the Game Boy version of Wizards and Warriors is it looks a lot like the NES games, but it plays very differently.
It's special.
Yeah. But it looked like it was pretty simple to learn compared to this.
Yeah, you guys got real good at it.
Yeah, it was a very close one. The first match was just fractions of a second apart. I think from start to finish, the slowest and fastest runs we got were less than a second apart, right? Because Dragon Dark started out in the high 158s and ended up in the high 157s. And Cards' runs were in the mid to low 158s. So yeah, about a second between the fastest and slowest times we saw in that match.
Looks like this one's not going to be quite as close unless Cards really comes up with something big here. Dragon Dark's practice times are looking a good deal faster. He just seemed to get really comfortable with this game really quickly.
Yeah, it's hard to see exactly where the time difference is coming from. Once the match starts, we'll get a better sense of it because we can play the runs side by side, the PV runs that these guys get side by side, and see how they compare. But for now, during the practice, it's a little tough to tell. We're also seeing big numbers on these splits here, so I think that neither player is getting times that are close to their own optimal.
Stupid key!
Yeah, the key's tricky.
I like that you can freeze the game in mid-hair whip animation. It's a nod to Kabuki Quantum Fighter.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you have to whip to sort of break the seal around the key. So if you're on top of it when you do it, you always get that nice pose there. If you hit select, Shantae will start dancing. And then you get all kinds of fun poses by holding things on the D-pad. And then the idea is different combinations of D-pad inputs will do different transformations. You can turn into a monkey and an elephant and a spider and a harpy thing. And you can also use it to... certain combinations will warp you to different towns, and I think there's one that will actually let you turn money into hearts to heal you. But that one's pretty hard to get. You need to collect all of the fireflies, which are sort of like Skulltulas in a Zelda game, I guess. There's just 12 of them. They're hidden and they only come out at night. But each direction has a different pose associated with it. They're all pretty cute.
Okay.
And it's not just Shantae that has this sort of it's just straight up sex, basically. She's sexy. This game is sexy. The enemies are sexy, and the NPCs are sexy, and the villain is sexy. I don't know what their obsession is, but like there are these scorpion enemies in the desert that just have giant boobs on them, and it's like they didn't have to have that, but they do.
What, don't all giant scorpions have giant boobs?
Only in that one anime.
Nope. Okay. Oh, jeez, really? Oh, come on. Whatever.
Well, we're down to the last 2 minutes of practice here. Yeah, it takes a lot of skill to do these spinners right.
Yeah, getting the double whips is pretty precise when you spin two at once.
Yep. And
And
not
you really,
spinning.
you really don't want to get one when you don't want to
Right.
either. Yeah, that key should say "nice catch" if you grab it on the bounce. Please take a key for coming in.
You saw a little bit of the inventory screen there. I was wondering if we'd see the inventory screen in this run at all.
I would hope not, but at the rate I'm getting hit, that's kind of a bit up in the air.
That's right, these players do have the option of using the Vanish... what is it?
Cream,
Vanish Cream. Okay.
naturally.
To make those crow's feet vanish.
God, I forgot the damn combination.
Alright, well, we've hit the end of the practice period here. I'm sure these guys would love to just keep going with practice. I think another hour would really change things, but unfortunately that's not how it works. So I'm going to switch the cast over and then these players will get started in about a minute or two.
Oh boy.
Is this considered the quarterfinals? I think it's fair to say this is the losers' quarterfinals. Because there's a match.
Semifinals.
Well, there's a match after this versus Andy, and that would be
Right,
the
yes.
semifinals. And then after that is against Error, and that would be losers' finals.
So you're
And then
correct,
there's
sorry.
grand finals. Yeah, I got it. I messed it up last time too. I forgot about the extra match with Error.
Alright. We got the timing box up there on the board. Let's see. Looks like both players are ready.
I should be using the new script this time.
Sounds good. Well then,
Fine, ready.
I think...
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Nice. Well then I think we should start this thing off. I'm going to give you guys the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! And here they go. This is match 2 of our Speed Gaming League tournament match between Cards of the Heart and Dragon Dark. So far, Dragon Dark with 1 victory. He won the Wizards and Warriors Fortress of Fear match that we did just before this. Cards of the Heart looking to pick up a victory here to keep himself alive in the tournament. Otherwise, we're going to be done. This game is Shantae for the Game Boy Color. A delightful game. It's got quite a following. It's got a lot of people who are really into this game, particularly speedrunning it, and I can see why. It's very interesting. It's a fun game to look at. It looks like it's a lot of fun to explore through these areas. A little bit of puzzle stuff, a little bit of platforming.
Yeah, there's lots of, well, I don't know about lots of, but there's a fair share of secrets and stuff that are actually pretty hard to find. Especially in this dungeon.
Yeah, but the winner of today's matchup will go up against Andy. He's the next opponent that either Cards or Dragon Dark will have to face. Then the winner of that matchup will go up against Error. Error72, right there in the chat. Error72 made it to the winner's final, the winner's bracket finals, and lost to Jorf, so he got bumped down to the loser's bracket finals, so he will play the person who has won their way out of this match today and the match against Andy.
Also in chat is Taconator7, who I believe has the record for a couple categories in Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. If not other games.
Thanks everyone who followed. We got a bunch of new followers after that raid came in.
Nice.
Anyone who wants to participate on SGL next season, we've only got a few more matches left in this year's tournament, but we're going to be doing a holiday episode that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, and then we're probably going to be starting Season 2 as soon as AGDQ is over. I think we'll line up some players to start the very first weekend after we get back from AGDQ. We might even do a Thursday night show the week after AGDQ is over, but we're going to get right into Season 2, looking for new players, looking for returning players. Just get in touch with us, check out our website, and you can find links there for how to contact us. For people who weren't around earlier when I did the first set of introductions, I'm Fiesel, one of the hosts of the show, joined by Mythical9, the other host of the show.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well.
Your proper introduction this time.
You
That
got
was
one last
Dragon
time, it
Dark.
just took some time.
The dulcet, lovely soprano voice of Dragon Dark,
Okay.
and the defeated, desperate voice of Cards of the Heart.
Very desperate.
He's not feeling too good about this goal. Although looking at their times, they're not too far apart here. Definitely not the hopeless situation Cards was saying it was going to be.
Yeah, I was actually able to come up with a competitive time on my first run, but not sure. I don't think that's gonna stand though.
Cards of the Heart's main strength here on the show, other than the puzzle games, actually, because he's actually very, very good at puzzle games. He has world records in a whole bunch of Tetris Attack and Pokemon Puzzle League and stuff like that. He came on the show originally to get better at platformers like this, and then surprisingly won his way through the winner's bracket quite far, defeating two very strong opponents in Toad 22484 and Andy as well, Andy 4H. So I like to think he did it through sheer practice. Basically, we have two different formats for goals and matches on the show. This is the mystery format where players only get 1 hour to practice, but we do another week-long session where players have an entire week to work on a goal and really tighten it up. And usually we give them something with a little more meat to it that they can, they don't get overwhelmed with. They have enough time to sort through it and figure things out. And so Cards would just put the time in to learn it and sort of keep up with some of these people who learn very, very quickly, like Andy and Dragon Dark. But these mystery games here are forcing him to sort of play differently, adapt quickly, and it's not something that comes all that easily. So this is not his forte here. So he's going to need to come up with something pretty big here against Dragon Dark, who seemed to take to this game really quickly. Wasn't long before he started ironing out sort of little movement mistakes and things like that. I was actually kind of impressed.
Oh, really?
Well, sometimes I wait until our first runs start coming in, but I think we don't know when that's going to happen, so I should now also give an introduction to our official timing referee, Arcana, who is here in the call with us. Hi, Arc. But he's going to be playing back these runs as each of these players finishes a run and submits it. He'll be playing the run back and checking the timing, exact timing down to the frame, plays it back in emulator, and then once he's figured that out, we put it up there in the box on the top of the screen, and that's how we know who's winning. Yeah, Arc is pretty good at pointing out small details that we don't notice because we're not frame advancing through the input recording.
Sometimes it's a game he knows too.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man 7.
Mega Man 7, I know a lot of Mega Man 0. I know a lot about the SNES era games and the GBA. I don't really know a whole lot about NES. I had one as a kid, but didn't really have too many games for it.
NES is definitely the domain of Fiesel. He has, I think, 9 NES records, stand?
It's not even worth counting. It's some number and it changes constantly, so
Yeah,
usually in
people
the
are-
down direction.
Usually people are taking them from you faster
Right.
than you can add to them. But there's some really horrible games that I don't think anyone will ever touch for a long time.
That's pretty much all I'm going to be left with eventually.
Yeah, Deadly Castles, Swords and Serpents, yours
Castles.
forever.
Let's not forget Bill
Oh,
and Ted's
that's-
Excellent
yeah, that's what
Adventure.
that is.
Yeah.
What's the other? There's two. There's Deadly Towers and there's Dark Castle.
Castle
Is that what I'm
Quest?
thinking of? Maybe that. I'm mixing up my
Castle Illusion?
my horrible NES games.
Castellian? That's a that's a game.
I don't even know that one. I don't think I want to know it.
It's interesting. It's a game I'd like to see somebody else play well.
Interesting. That's one of those things where it's like I want to know about this game, but I never want to play it. That's what interesting says to me.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah, we got a question in chat about recommendations for controllers. I have a SNES to USB adapter, and I really, really like that.
Same here.
The Xbox controller, I've never used an Xbox One controller. I know the D-pad's a little better on that one, but I really don't like the D-pad on your standard Xbox wired controller, which works great for 3D games. But for 2D, I really, really like the SNES controller. And as a bonus, if you're playing a newer game that is 2D, it's so I'm thinking of something like Rogue Legacy, or actually the Shantae games are out on Steam, so you can use a SNES controller pretty well with games like that. You may have to do something weird like bind the map to a button on your keyboard or something, but you can generally put all of the important buttons you need on the controller. And I found that super great way to play certain games.
I've been using the Wii Classic Controller Pro, and I really like it.
Yeah, I've heard people say good things about that.
Cards spinning and spinning and spinning this pillar around.
Round and round the wheel it goes. Where it stops, I wish I would know.
It starts on random icons.
Once you see what icon it is, you know how many times to hit it, right?
Yeah.
So at least there's that, but yeah, you could have some bad RNG. Well, you can tell what a difficult goal this is, because so far neither player has got a run submitted. We're down to
The 313 was new to this session.
Yeah, as
That
is
was my very
Dragon Darks
first run.
301.
Oh, that was in the session? That wasn't from the practice?
No, I didn't get close to 313 in my practice.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
it was
and
a
301,
320.
was that from this run as well? From this match?
301 was just a moment ago.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't even see that happen.
Yes,
don't even listen to me.
I just looked up and saw the 301, and I was like,
See
wait,
them
but he cleared his
switch.
splits, so
Yeah,
that
I
should
thought
not be there.
that looked wrong. The 301 didn't even look like it's right. That's way better than anything I saw in practice.
I also got I managed to whip the key as it was falling,
Oh yeah, that's
like
a nice
like
little time
right
saver.
after it appeared.
I know in the speedrun you see him whipping his hair like crazy as he falls down that shaft there, and I think he's hoping for a lucky key grab like that. Everyone in chat talking about their own controller preferences.
Yeah, it sure depends on what kind of games you want to play. On this show, we don't play anything with an analog stick, so we're pretty much just D-pad focused.
I suppose one day that won't be out of the question.
Right.
PlayStation and an N64 emulation.
Yeah, I think
Well-
PlayStation or N64 would be an okay thing to bring into this. I was considering making sort of like another version of SGL where we just do slightly newer games than this. I mean, they would still be classic games, but classic games on Gen 5 consoles. Or I could just...
I don't even. What is Gen 5?
it's PlayStation 1.
Okay. It's really hard to put a number on generation.
My
They
B
come out
button
in-
just decided it didn't want to work.
Whoop.
Lovely.
They come out in waves at a certain point, but early on they're just kind of like a jungle of consoles. Now Nintendo's starting to break away from these other ones. But yeah, I feel like almost GameCube and PS2 emulation is kind of almost further along than N64 and
N64,
PlayStation
that I
1.
believe.
I don't think it's even close.
Really?
Oh, I was there, really?
What's kind of messed up is well, I think it was like someone almost figured out Wii U emulation, and it's like that thing's still out. Like that opens up the door for the possibility of like I don't feel bad about downloading, you know, GBA games and down and below. You know, the money you spend on those is never going to find its way back to the publisher. It's going to be some other reseller. And it's really big hassle to get the hardware to play those things. So I don't feel too bad about it. But with the Wii U being Nintendo's current active console, being able to just pirate games for it is that's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. You normally think of emulation as being several generations behind the current thing, but yeah, I guess it is possible that could catch up pretty quickly. I mean, emulating Wii, I guess, would not be as difficult, but Wii U, I mean, Wii is sort of like a reskinned GameCube, but yeah, Wii U, you'd think that would be a bit harder.
A slow key grab.
Dragon Dark looking at some pretty big green numbers here. Players have an extra heart here. Speedrun normally comes in here with 3 hearts, so it needs to be a little more careful about where it takes hits. But our players are able to play at least a little more risky, take a couple extra hits, which in some cases is often faster than waiting.
Got both of the runs up on the board there. Dragon Dark's run is just over 3 minutes. Cards of the Heart at 3:13.84. I wonder if we'll see a sub 3 time during this match.
I can theoretically get it if I can match that key grab I got the first time. So it's not going to happen this time.
It's a little tricky crawling through some of these gaps because you cannot be holding the B button at all. Otherwise, Shantae will start to run rather than crawl. And then you need to make sure you're holding the B button before you exit, otherwise you will attack. And you need to be holding B to run. One of the early little mistakes that the players were making a lot was letting go of the B button and having to sort of attack in place in order to start running again. But both players have sort of stopped making that mistake. It's become second nature to hold the B button or repress it during screen transitions, that sort of thing. Cards hoping for an early platform cycle there. Even the current record misses that. So it's a little tricky. And I think this is about 15 minutes into the run, so I guess it's not so optimized that people will reset over that when going for record runs. But it is tricky. You need to manipulate how you spawn the platforms, I believe is what's going on there, in order to get them to line up so that you can get to the ones you need to at the right time. Dragon Dark somehow saving 6 seconds on his first split here.
Got lucky on which icons
the
were up.
stone
I only had
pillar.
to hit each one once.
Oops. Oh, really? Oh, come on.
Yeah, these stone pillars seem to be a big source of time loss for cards here.
Yeah, that's not gonna compete. I can't keep that one going.
Just an example of the sort of strategy element that gets layered in there when you have these two players competing like this. Based off of how your opponent is doing, influences some of your decisions as to how you spend your 30 minutes. You can use your 30 minutes however you want. You can even, drop a save state and go back to practice, or start looking for some kind of improvement.
Right, or stop what you're doing and just watch another player.
Yep, that's another thing. So, anything, I don't want to say anything goes, but most things go. And all that matters is if at the end of the 30 minutes you have the best time on the leaderboard there.
Here we go. It's a little better.
Well, we got the comparison videos up there. Both of the players' current runs being compared against Dragon Dark's 3-minute flat run. That's what you see in that thumbnail video.
That sigh of frustration there is missing the platform cycle. The other two screens you're seeing is a replay of the best time, or the next time up that you're trying to beat. So every time these guys reset, the other screens will reset, and you can see how each player is doing compared to the run they're trying to beat.
It's looking like Cards is a little bit ahead of Dragon Dark's run. Or was.
I had really bad luck on the first key in that run.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, whoops. Forgot what room I was in.
Oh man. Card's having major trouble with just that last jump.
It's just on that screen, so players could watch the stream back. It would be pretty hard, though, unfortunately. I think eventually we would... If we had the RTMP server, I guess players could look at that, and that would be maybe a little more helpful.
Maybe there would still be a bit of a delay.
Yeah. But that would be really cool, and to get that information to the players like that. I guess you could argue that some of the strategy is in trying to figure out how you're doing compared to the other run without just being able to look and see exactly. Got some more questions about how it works that I can't answer. You're actually rendering a video?
Yep. Just the emulator replay. Yeah, no, it's the video's being synced up on my end, the broadcaster. These players don't get any of that feedback. They get their own splits. The splits that you see up there on the screen, they have that, so they can see how well they're doing compared to their personal best based on their split timer. But they don't get to see the other players run unless they watch this stream. Still listening to that Shantae soundtrack. Really good stuff. So this is a pretty long game. The speedrun is not as short as you might expect, and there's a lot to it. So I think we may end up seeing this game again on the show at some point. Probably as a main game next time, I think.
Yeah, there's 4 dungeons and plenty of overworld traversal as well. So combined, you can definitely get a chunk more out of this game.
How long is the record run for this?
I think it's like 30...
It's over half an hour, I know, which is
Yeah.
really long for a Game Boy game. Game Boy games
I
tend
have
to be
Record
shorter
runs
than
over an
the
hour, I
games.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait.
over
80% is an
it's-
hour and 10 minutes.
Hour 10, wow.
I'm thinking of Risky's Revenge.
Ah, okay.
Really?
Cards with an interesting key grab there to save time. The timer is sort of part of the emulator. It's in the emulator window, but it's actually a Lua script running in the emulator.
So it is essentially part of the emulator as far as we're concerned. Alright, we got cards coming down to the end. He's going to make a big improvement to his PB. 3 seconds taken off his time, down to a 3:10. That is about a quarter of the gap that he needed to cover right there. So he's 25% closer than he was before.
I think I'm just gonna feel relief when this is over. My right hand especially, because it's starting to ache.
Yeah, sometimes we have some games that are very mashing heavy, or games where you've got to hold down a button the entire time while you press other buttons. But usually it's people's D-pad hand that wears out after a long SGL session.
Dragon Dark had -4 seconds on his first split, and it looked like he had a good key grab there, but coming into the end of this goal with red numbers there.
Ah, bad luck.
Actually dies there. There's been a couple spots where players have died from taking too many hits, but usually that's because something went wrong in their movement and caused them to kind of double back and get hit by an enemy again. So how are we doing on time here? Looks like just under a minute left in this match. And Cards is looking a little outmatched here.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
There's a couple of random elements that can go his way here, so he's not out of it. But he's got very little time to make it all come together.
Coming down to it, and we're now at last call. This is your last chance to reset, guys, and no more resets past right now.
Bet Dragon Dark was hoping he could get a look at this pillar and see what kind of luck he got before he needs to reset, but no reason to reset when you got the -4.6 there. And then the pillar's
not coming up the way you wanted. And if you miss once, or if you hit something that you didn't intend to, you got a lot of work to do to correct it.
Yeah, 2 more to fix it, and you need to hit that one twice without hitting any of the others.
Right.
And you need to get the key like the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
So plus 13, not going to be a PB on this last run here, but he's going to finish it out. Might as well.
Finishes with 311 times, so that's not going to be better than his PB. However, Card still has a shot here of improving his PB.
Oh, I'm out.
And then he fell into the water. Just as I said that, I shouldn't have said anything.
To be fair, with the delay, it had already happened. It wasn't your doing. Just poor timing, I suppose.
Well, that's it for our second match, and it looks like that's going to be all we need here. Dragon Dark picks up 2 wins this time around. So there we go. This is a best 2 out of 3 situation, so he's already got this matchup locked down. So we're going to call it quits for that. I've put a bonus game up if you guys want to hang out for a little bit and give it a try.
Bonus game.
It's not a bad game, I promise. This is actually a good game.
Dragon
curious
Dark's
to
gotta
see
go
what
to
it
sleep,
is.
but he might do a bonus game.
We might do a bonus game.
I don't see it
It's
up.
not. Oh, because I didn't. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Let's
I had it set to the wrong players. Jorf and Error got to see the bonus game.
Quick, Error, go look.
I know. Error's like, wait, I gotta get logged in really quick before they take it down. Oh, and he's too late.
Oh, wow, okay.
Huh? Okay. Whatever.
And apparently we got it on January 1st, $21.99.
That's right.
That is a really good one. I'll give it a shot for a few minutes. I actually wound up with only having like a half day tomorrow, so I can muscle through it if I don't have quite enough sleep.
He was already logged
I
in.
at least want to try. I at least want to play around with it for
Cool,
a few.
thanks. Glad to see you guys giving this a try.
While they're
Yeah,
doing
this is
that,
going to
I'm
be a
updating the
first, I
bracket.
think. Oh, the bracket.
Keep forgetting which one. Okay, getting the ROM this time. Save that here. Now I'm getting the save state.
Okay, bracket should be updated.
Alright, thank you.
Split when we get more than 10,000 points.
That's right. It's the very first score-related SGL goal.
Wow.
We've always talked about how we can have more than just, get to a certain point in a platformer. There were opportunities to do other sorts of challenges. We want speed to be a part of it. It is the speed gaming league after all. But you can measure how fast you get to, a certain number of coins in Mario, or in this case, score in a shooting game. Shoot 'em up. I'm not sure what you can do to influence score other than just shoot everything. Like, I don't know
Not
if
sure
there's
either.
combos or...
Really?
We're guinea pigs apparently.
Yeah.
This definitely beats Shantae for me right now.
Oh.
Alright, let's stay it up again and get the timer going.
Shantae's really cool, but I guess when you're competing in a speedrun event, you have different
Okay,
criteria.
This thing's got Silver Surfer syndrome. I don't like this.
It's definitely the case where you can't touch anything with any part of your ship. Well, I think your ship's hitbox is actually a bit smaller than it appears, but you don't want to touch any of the walls of any of the parts of the level.
Games Old School is seeing the color palette for non-color Game Boy games. It defaults to this lovely green,
This eyesore, yellow-green color.
which is a sort of extreme of what the original Game Boy was like. It was a lot more... It did have that sort of green tinge to it, but it was a little more...
It was not like this infected mucus color that we're looking at.
a little more subdued. And then Dragon Dark went and came up with his own palette, so he's got this lovely blue going on.
I'm putting the R-Type music on.
I bet that's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
So it looks like Cards has 100 more points than Dragon Dark does, heading into the same area here.
Oh, okay.
But then he missed a circle or two, or whatever these are.
Ugh. Whatever.
The way the options work in this, the add-ons to your ship, it's kind of interesting. They'll stay attached to you, but then you can hold, I think it's the B button, and that causes it to detach and move independently. And you can stick it onto other parts of your ship once it's detached. It's kind of strange, and it behaves a little bit differently.
hitbox a little better.
So the default high score is 10,000 experience. That's the top score when you start this game up by default.
What is
not
the
an unreasonable
name?
quantity to beat. You could do it within this first level here.
Who has the top score?
Oh, I forget. I don't remember what the name is.
Dan. Tim.
It's AAAA. AAA with the top score.
That guy's
Jim's
got
been
all the
playing
top
it
scores.
every day at lunch instead of developing the game.
Sometimes you see games with top scores that actually look like they really came from people doing attempts, like the developers tried to actually play the game, but sometimes it's just like, oh, they just picked a bunch of numbers that looked right.
Well, you get a bonus 5,000 points here for clearing the first level.
That's gonna help. Oh, it's a shot cap. Mashing doesn't do jack. Oh, well, those guys are worth 500 a pop.
I don't know if they were called options, but I know that this is supposed to be a Gradius
9960.
game.
Yeah, there it is.
Where is it? He got it right there. 347.
Holy, the points just ramp up exponentially in the second stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they sure do.
Seems like you'd be better off, like, if for some reason avoiding enemies reduced lag or something, which is usually the
hello?
opposite, but it would make sense to
Okay.
just forgo points and get to this stage as fast as possible.
Right, or just do whatever you can to not die on the first stage. Just get through it and as safe as possible, and then get all your points on the second stage. It's force here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this game is supposed to be... Oh no, Gradius was... No, the Gradius game was Nemesis, right? So this isn't a Gradius game.
I don't know my shoot 'em up lineage.
I'm confusing this with Nemesis, that's why I was... So they're not necessarily options, I don't know what they are. These.
Which one is Life Force?
That's the Konami one.
But it's also isn't it
is.
like Gradius?
It does look like Gradius.
Sort of. It's just different. I thought it was the same thing, but a different name for it.
Yeah, this is by IREM. This is an IREM game. I don't know what they call your upgrades in Life Force, though.
It's a separate series that's similar to Gradius. And Gradius was Nemesis in Europe.
Life Force was options. Ah, okay.
I think options is the sort of catch-all term for the thing.
Yeah, Nemesis is officially part of the Gradius series. It is by Konami, but it's different than Life Force, which is not part of the Gradius series. Life Force is an alternative of the game Salamander.
Okay.
Ah, I shouldn't have been sitting there.
Someone in chat also knew that Zem one.
Well, it's a spin-off to Gradius. Life Force is supposed to be a spin-off to Gradius, I guess. But it introduced a simplified power-up system, two-player cooperative gameplay, that I remember about it, yeah. And horizontal and vertical scrolling. Both horizontally and vertically scrolling stages.
What about Parodius? Where does that fit in?
Parodius, is that even a game?
It's a parody of Gradius. Where it's like I think it's the sort of quintessential cute 'em up.
Cute 'em up.
Yep. I beat someone to it. Or is it Zemmel? I can't tell if it's a 1 or an L. It's an L. Mystery solved. Well, I mean, I guess it's not necessarily clear how it's pronounced. I'm gonna go ahead and say Zemmel. Maybe the M's silent. I don't know.
Alright, both these guys facing this weird boss at the same time.
Yeah, shoot 'em ups, like, I don't know where it started, but like the boss design in these things, they were just like, there's just anything goes. Anything at all.
Yeah, it's strange. Shoot 'em ups tend to have this like combination between like organic monsters and machine monsters, like these giant mutant cyber organisms.
Yeah. They remind me of Contra, actually.
Yep.
Those
Yeah, I was
alien
just thinking
Contra
that
bosses.
that boss looked like it could have come right out of a Contra game. The snake right now that's chasing around cards looks like some of the stuff from the overhead levels of Contra 3. Let's see if I can find some Gradius music.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna head on out.
See you later, Ark.
Alright, see you, Ark.
Alrighty. See ya.
Guys, enjoy the bonus game.
I think they are enjoying it.
This
There
looks
it
like
is.
fun.
The high score AAA.
I'm enjoying
That
watching
hit
it.
me? Oh, well, game over.
If it wasn't AAA before, it is now.
Just how I feel. Just how I felt about the match earlier. Ah! Oh, this is a good game to vent with. So, all right, I feel better. I feel better.
Congratulations,
GG.
you have a high score. Enter your name.
Well, GG Dragon Dark. Best of luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thank you, thank you.
I think I will head
Good
out.
showing tonight, at least.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Certainly tried.
I
Cards
think we at
of the
least put on a
Heart.
good show for everybody.
Definitely. Cards of the Heart is going to tie with Canonophone for 5th in the first SGL playoffs.
Certainly
Not
outplayed
too
my
shabby.
rank. So that works. That works.
Yeah, nice job. It was a heck of a run.
Ah,